Okay, so get this ready for some seriously mind-blowing stuff. We're diving deep today into beginnings that nobody saw coming. Specifically, two huge GE things in the business world, Waterfall and Agile. Turns out they were total accidents.
It's wild, right?
Totally. And here's what's even crazier, these accidental origins. They have a lot to teach us, especially about navigating this future of work that's, well, getting reshaped by AI, like
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah, AI is the game changer. But you know what's really interesting? The whole idea of management systems is ancient, goes way, way back. We're talking like 5,000 years ago.
hmm
The Sumerians, they had structured ways of managing how they did their agricultural work. Can you believe that? Large-scale labor coordination back then.
5,000 years ago,
Yeah.
that just, I don't even know, my brain can't handle it. It does make you wonder, though, about those deep patterns, how humans, like, organize themselves.
Yeah, gotta be fundamental, right? Oh, absolutely. And if you actually look closely, you can trace this whole control theme through, well, the entire history of management. Think pyramids, the Egyptian ones. Those huge projects, they needed these intricate hierarchies. Someone's got to be giving the orders, right? A clear chain of command.
It's like that picture-perfect commanding manager. They've been around forever.
And that model, it went into overdrive with the Industrial Revolution. Machines, mass production suddenly, efficiency and standardization were everything. That's where Frederick Taylor comes in, scientific management. His whole thing, break tasks down to their most efficient, most repeatable steps.
So the goal was getting the same thing, the same output, like clockwork.
Exactly, predictability.
Yeah.
And from there, things evolve a bit. We get lean manufacturing. Now, lean brought in something really critical that had been missing, respect for the workers. Lean got that workers weren't just cogs, you know. They were essential to figuring out how to improve things.
That's a huge EE shift, almost like Lean was setting the stage for the more human-centric approach like what we see in Agile later on. But, okay, before we jump to Agile, let's get into the first accident, how Waterfall became a thing.
So this is where the irony comes in, big time. Waterfall, its roots are literally in a warning against using waterfall. 1970, Winston Royce writes this paper. It's basically saying, hey, don't do sequential one-pass development.
Hold on, wait. The paper that everyone says is the foundation for Waterfall
Yeah.
was telling people not to do Waterfall. How'd that happen?
Well, best guess. People read Royce's description of this sequential process, but they took it as endorsement, not a, hey, this is going to backfire. It's like someone finds a screwdriver and they go, perfect hammer. Then they wonder why they can't hit a nail straight.
Unbelievable. One little misinterpretation, and it changes how projects are managed probably for decades.
Mhm.
So Waterfall becomes the default, even though it had built-in limits. And then fast forward a bit, there's this group who's like, there's got to be a better way, something more flexible.
Yep, 2001 rolls around. Bunch of software developers, they get together. They're talking about what they called lightweight development processes, basically. How to break free from how rigid Waterfall was.
Enter Agile, right? But you said Agile was an accident too. What does that even mean?
They found something way, way bigger than just new processes or tools for Agile. What they hit on was the key to agility was the people, how they interacted, the whole culture of their workplace. Like, it was a cultural revolution, and they didn't even set out to do that.
So, okay, let me see if I've got this straight. Waterfall, all about efficiency, strict processes, a super structured approach. Then there's Leany, it adds that respect for the worker, continuous improvement, all that good stuff. And finally, Agile, that's saying adapt, adapt, adapt. Embrace the change. People first.
Nailed it. The important thing, though, is that there's no one best. They all have their strengths and their weaknesses, too.
So you're saying Waterfall's good for those straightforward, simple projects. But Agile. Agile shines when things are complex, when the goalposts keep moving, you pick the right tool. Right.
Exactly. And now, well, now we've got AI shaking everything up. The very nature of work is changing. This isn't just doing stuff faster. AI is changing what we can do, blurring the lines between efficiency and that resilience we were talking about.
Mind-blowing is right. Imagine systems that could be super efficient, A&D adaptable. That's a total game changer.
It is. But there are warning signs, too, the video we're deep diving into today. It lays those out really clearly. What we're already seeing is that AI can be used to, well, put profits ahead of people, leading to work environments that are just as rigid and dehumanizing as those ancient command and control structures we were talking about earlier.
Chilling is the right word. After all this progress with stuff like Lean, Agile to take a step backward like that.
It's a very real danger if we're not careful. If AI is just about maximizing profits, squeezing out every last bit of efficiency no matter the cost, then yeah, we risk creating workplaces where people are just another input to the system.
which is the opposite of what Lean and Agile were all about,
Yeah.
right? Those approaches were like, hey, people aren't just cogs, they make the system work.
Exactly. So the big question is, how do we make AI work for us? Not the other way around. How do we use AI to actually make work more human?
Those are big questions. And the video really makes you confront them. I like how it brings it all back to Waterfall and Agile, how they started by accident.
That's what makes the video so thought-provoking. It gets you thinking, you know? If those two huge things were accidental, what if AI leads to another accident, another breakthrough, like a totally new way of thinking about work, something we can't even imagine yet?
Whoa, okay, that is a really interesting thought.
Right.
Are you saying there might be a whole different way of working? Something beyond Agile, just waiting to be discovered?
I mean, we're in uncharted territory here. Just like with Waterfall and Agile, we might stumble onto something totally new as we figure out AI, you know?
Goosebumps. Things are changing so fast, and the choices we make now, they matter a lot. They're shaping the future of work, literally.
No doubt. That's why we got to talk about this stuff, you know? Think hard about how we use AI, make sure it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
You're right. It's not just about the tech. It's about what guides our choices, our values.
Yeah.
It's about making sure the future of work is human-centered.
And that's what the video does so well. It helps us connect the dots, all those trends from the past to the challenges we face now, so we can make smarter choices about the future.
I've learned so much already. This has been amazing. We've got so much more to unpack in this deep dive, though. Hang with us.
You know, watching that video, one thing really hit me, like it flipped the script on how we talk about AI. We're always saying it's about doing things faster, more efficiently, but that's
Yeah, the video's like, nope, not that simple. It's saying AI could change what's even possible.
exactly not just doing the same old stuff better, but doing totally new stuff, things we haven't even thought of yet.
It's like AI unlocks a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
And those old trade-offs, efficiency versus resilience, those start to look different.
Right, right. We've been stuck in this either thinking for ages. Like, you could have something super efficient, BUT rigid, like that classic factory line, or you could have something adaptable, BUT it costs more.
Yeah, like mass production pump out the same widget a million times, great. But change one thing, whole system breaks down.
But AI, it's like we could have both. Imagine a factory that adjusts to demand on the fly, or a supply chain that sees disruptions coming and like sidesteps them.
Okay, I'm with you. AI is giving us new tools to solve those old management headaches, the ones that have been around forever.
And it creates new questions too, which the video doesn't shy away from that. It's like, hey, watch out for this. There are some serious warning signs about how AI could be used in a bad way.
You're thinking of that analogy, right? The one where AI could create these workplaces just as rigid and dehumanizing as those ancient command and control setups, full circle.
Yep, kind of scary, right? We've been trying to move away from that model for centuries, and AI could make it even worse on a huge scale.
It'd be so ironic, like taking a giant leap backwards after all that progress.
That's the risk. If we only see AI as a way to maximize profit, get that efficiency no matter what, then yeah, we end up treating people like, I don't know, another part in the machine.
Which goes against everything Lean and Agile stand for, right?
Yeah.
They were all about, like, hey, people aren't just cogs, they make the system work.
Right. So the million-dollar question is, how do we flip it? How do we use AI to make work more human, more fulfilling?
Okay, now those are the questions we should be asking. The video really pushes you to think about that. The decisions we make now, they're going to shape the future in a big way.
No doubt. That's why these conversations are so important. We got to think critically about how we use AI, make sure it's benefiting everyone, not just a handful of people.
It's not just the tech itself, it's about our values, what guides us. We want a future of work that puts humans first.
Right, exactly. And the video does a great job connecting the dots, you know, from all those historical trends to the stuff we're struggling with now, so we can make better choices, smarter choices about where we go from here.
Seriously, my brain is buzzing. We've only scratched the surface, though. We're going to keep digging into all this, so stick with us. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground already. We talked about Waterfall and Agile, how they kind of stumbled into existence, and then all those big questions about AI, how it's going to change the future of work, maybe for the better, maybe not. But let's get practical here. What can people actually do with all this, to navigate this crazy world where everything is changing so fast?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And the video we've been talking about, I think it gives us some clues. It boils down to, like, holding on to that human element, even when tech is taking over everything.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the AI hype and forget that At the end of the day, it's all about people.
Exactly. And that's where those lean and agile principles come in. Respect for people, always improving, being okay with change. These aren't just buzzwords. They're like our compass in the age of AI.
So it's bigger than just like picking the right agile process or tool. It's a whole mindset shift, right?
Yeah. You got it. It's got to be baked into everything we do at work. And here's where it gets really interesting. The video says that AI can actually help us do that, help us integrate those values.
Wait, so instead of AI taking over human jobs, it could actually make those human skills even more important.
Bingo. Imagine it like this. AI gets rid of all those boring, repetitive tasks and frees us up to do the stuff that humans are really good at, like being creative, understanding other people, solving those really messy problems.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do we make that happen? What are some actual things people can do?
Well, first things first, you got to commit to learning, like all the time. What's hot today might be gone tomorrow, so always be learning new stuff.
Lifelong learning, right? But that's never been more true than now.
Totally. And part of that is learning about AI itself, how it works, what it can and can't do. You don't want to just be a passive user. You want to be in control.
So, like, be informed, ask the tough questions.
Yeah.
Don't just accept everything you hear about AI.
Exactly. What are the biases? What are the assumptions built into these algorithms? We got to be critical thinkers.
And look for ways to use AI to make our skills better, not obsolete.
Exactly. How can we use AI to superpower those uniquely human skills? That's what will make us valuable in the future.
It's all about choices, isn't it? Pushing back against this idea that efficiency and automation are the only things that matter.
You got it. We have to advocate for a way of working that puts people at the center. And that might mean speaking up, if you see AI being used in a way that hurts people or doesn't think about the long-term consequences.
That takes guts to challenge the way things are, especially with new technology. Everyone's so excited about AI, it's easy to get swept up in all that.
That's why it's so important to find other people who share your vision, people who want a future where tech makes things better for everyone. We need to support each other, learn from each other, work together.
That's what I took away from the video, too. This isn't a one-person job.
Yeah.
We need to figure this out together.
You said it. We're all in this together, navigating this new world, figuring out how to make it work.
This conversation has been like a total mind opener. I feel like we've just scratched the surface, but it's given me so much to think about, and hopefully our listeners are feeling the same way.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure. We went from ancient Sumeria to the future of work all in one conversation. Pretty cool.
If you're ready to dive even deeper, definitely check out the video presentation that inspired this whole deep dive. We'll put the links in the description. It's worth a watch, I promise.
Seriously, it's one of those videos that sticks with you, makes you think, makes you hopeful.
And we want to hear from you. What stood out to you? What are you excited about, worried about? Leave us a comment. Let's keep this conversation going.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and let's build a future where technology is a force for good.